Hello and welcome to another Game Nexus Arcade video. Today we're going to be taking yet another look at Tekken 7, released in 2016 on the Namco System ES3 Arcade hardware. This is Tekken 7 Fated Retribution, which has a couple of changes, including Goki/Akuma as an added character. And I figured I'd play as Master Raven here because she just seems like a cool character and I wanted to give her a shot.
Commencing mission.
Okay, now if you hadn't seen my previous videos, the original arcade version of Tekken 7 was released on March 18th of 2015 worldwide. Then you had this version, which you see right now, Tekken 7 Fated Retribution, which was released on July 5th of 2016, with the last update, Tekken 7 Fated Retribution Round 2, released on February 13th of 2019, which I hear will soon be displaced by the new update, which of course will be dubbed Round 3. The PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Windows version came out July 2nd, 2017, and it's been getting all kinds of downloadable content, which has been part of all these, like, round updates for the arcade version, and I think they're actually on Season 4 at this point. And if you hadn't seen my previous videos, this is running on my Namco System ES3 hardware. And it's a very nice looking game. Now, if you had seen my last video, I had gone over some of the new characters, which was Akuma, Claudio Serafino, Gigas, Jack 7, Josie Rizal, Katrina Alvelis, and Kazumi Mishima, who was the game's final boss. And she transforms into Devil Kazumi when the second round, similar to how Jun changes into Unknown in Tekken Tag Tournament 2 in the second round. And now, the next characters we would have here in the base game would be Lucky Chloe, an idol who wears a kitten-themed costume and has a freestyle dance fighting style.
Commencing mission.
Then, of course, fitting for this video, we have Master Raven, a female ninja with a fighting style very similar to Raven. She is in charge of the organization that the original Raven works for. And then the final character in this base game was Shaheen, a keffiyeh-wearing Saudi Arabian man who uses a military defense fighting style. He was designed to be beginner-friendly character.
Round 2. Fight.
And the same thing was for that Katrina Alvelis. She was also a beginner-friendly character. And a lot of times with these fighting games, they will do that because there are so many people who will actually play like these fighting games, and you know, this is Tekken 7. There's a lot of, like, quote-unquote veteran Tekken players who have played this for so long. But the problem is there's some of the, like, big characters who are kind of, like, you really have to be, like, a good player of the series in order to play as certain characters, or you have to, like, practice. But the thing is, if they make one of these beginner-friendly characters, they just have very easy-to-do moves, and they're just not so bad when it comes to playing the game, if you will. And now, to go on a little bit of the development here, in January 2014, Tekken series director and producer Katsuhiro Harada expressed interest in continuing the series on PlayStation 4. And here's Claudio that I'd mentioned earlier. And later said PlayStation was the primary platform for development for the new installment. Tekken 7 was announced by Harada at July 13th of 2014 during EVO 2014. The announcement was not initially planned, but was done as a last-minute response to leak of the game's announcement trailer that morning. The game was developed using Unreal Engine 4, which allows it to be developed for multiple platforms. While Tekken games historically were PlayStation-based in arcades, Harada stated that Tekken 7 runs on an arcade board with PC architecture, which is the ES3. And I could remember when Tekken 7 was actually just rumors, people were saying it ran on Namco System 478 or something, or basically, since PlayStation 2 based arcade hardware was like 2 something, and then PlayStation 3 was 3 something, they assumed it would be 4 something. But of course, since they decided to ditch the whole PlayStation based arcade hardware thing and go with PC based arcade hardware, that's why it's Namco System ES3 as opposed to 478 or 428 or whatever they would have named it. And the funny thing is, the ES3 and even the ES1 that ran some of Namco's earliest games weren't their first arcade hardwares that were PC. There were even some before it, like the Namco N1 and N2. N2 running some of the, Wagon Midnight Maximum Tune 3. So Namco has been dabbling with the PC arcade hardware for a little while now. It's just that when it comes to stuff like fighting games, you're kind of more accustomed to,
It's just business.
You're more accustomed to game console-based arcade hardware. And you can see, even in the Japanese arcade version, Master Raven speaks in English, and they just subtitle her in Japanese. So I think that's the thing I liked about Tekken series for a good while now, that they've always just, like, kept everyone, for the most part, speaking in their own language.
Round 1.
Although there were a few exceptions where characters like who should speak like French had spoken Japanese or English, but in some of the entries that came in later times, they did improve that. So they had like some of the French characters speaking French or the Spanish characters speaking Spanish, so it did help a little bit. Because I can remember way back I made a video where I said, oh, all the characters are speaking the right languages, and somebody's like, well, I hate to tell you, this guy's French and he's speaking English. But, you know, I thought, oh, well, why not? Maybe he just knows English. Although I still say the weirdest thing is in the story mode of Tekken 6 when a Japanese character speaks to an English character and they're speaking different languages and somehow understanding each other.
Final round.
And of course, if you've ever played the console version, she's gonna grind your bones into dust. So you have to beat her, so she doesn't do that. But, I definitely have to say, this is a fairly epic boss fight. But if I had to say, of all boss fights, one of the most epic ones I still think has to be Jinpachi Mishima in Tekken 5. And this was one of those times where I never thought I would beat Kazumi, and I somehow did.
Mission complete.
And as you can see in this gameplay, I actually did not lose, which was surprising.
You win.
But yeah, this has been another Game Nexus Arcade video, and I shall see you later. Normally the credits would be here, but as I said, I uploaded those in a different video, and you can watch that if you'd like. They're fairly boring, no pictures or video. Bye.
Game over.